Hey Maverick Nation, and welcome back to Bullpen Bites with Supermav. This week we're going to be getting into more of the meat of our guide for general noise making, and in general just making ears bleed. So without further ado, let's get into noise for noise sake and some of our other in-game cheers. And of course, during the game, whenever possible, well, you're encouraged to make noise, just get loud, yell. Now that doesn't mean that we don't still have some preset cheers, chants, and jeers that we'll do at certain times, not only at designated times, but also at random times as well. So for this section of our cheer guide, we're going to take you through some of those and get you familiar with them, starting with the very start of the game. And first up, of course, something that everybody who's ever gone to any of the hockey games ought to know, bro him. Now, of course, this is done at the start of the game, right before that first initial puck drop. And of course, we also do this also for every subsequent overtime period. Now, again, before that initial puck drop, Bro Him Tribute by punk rock band Pennywise will be playing over the PA. Once that puck is dropped, Red Army and the Maniacs will drum out a cadence, which typically, I'll try and clap it out here. Here's pretty much just goes. At that point, you're encouraged to sing the wordless woe chorus, which is pretty much oh, 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 oh. And of course, that full chorus is only sung just the one time, not only for the start of the game, but also for the start of overtime. And typically, right after that, we launch into another kind of Red Army and Maverick Maniac favorite, Bigger Than a Knights Crowd. Now, this is kind of a jab at the old AHL team, the Omaha Exorbitant Knights, that used to be in town. Now, a little history behind this, the creation of this cheer. This kind of came about because the Knights kind of claimed that they had the best hockey fans in town. And, well, that got disproved on a Tuesday night when UNO was playing Minnesota State Mankato by outdrawing the Knights by over 10 times their attendance. And that night, UNO had about 5,000 fans back at the old arena downtown, which is now whatever the heck they call it. I think it was still called CenturyLink back then. And the Knights, while Civic was still a thing and they were playing there, only had about 500 that same night. And so we kind of continually take little jabs at them with this cheer here, which basically just goes ooh ah, bigger than a Knights crowd. And this is basically just kind of done 4 times. And as a continued jab at the Knights, we also kind of tend to say that anytime any 2 Maverick fans gather together in one place, they themselves are bigger than a Knights crowd. Now, another one that we kind of rarely do, and is basically a very specific situational cheer, Louder Than Creighton. Now, again, this harkens back to when we used to play at the arena downtown. And it's now kind of a definite thing now that Creighton has agreed to start finally playing us in a few things, mainly soccer or in baseball. They're still kind of a little cowardly when it comes into basketball. Still won't play us despite us trying to make every concession possible to try and make that happen. Yeah, I know. Kind of a little gutless of them, isn't it? Anyway, this cheer is done pretty simply. Again, it's basically just louder than Creighton. And it's basically just done 4 times. And again, this just kind of came about as our way of saying, despite our size, we may never fill the CHI here, again, whatever the heck the arena downtown is called anymore, like they do, but for our size, we get a heck of a lot louder. Here, and we always will be louder. Now, from here, we get into some of our more traditional cheers. These ones can be done pretty much at any time, even during games. So, of course, first basic one, let's go Mavericks. again, that can be done at any time you feel like making noise. Or, pardon me, just in general, feel like you can try to get a little bit of energy going for our different teams. Now, when it comes into just a basic UNO chant, we do kind of have two different versions of that. That first off is basically just kind of the short version of chanting UNO. Oh, this can basically be done any time after a goal is scored, or if we're talking baseball or softball, anytime after a run is scored, or just any time after the fight song plays. He's basically one of the easiest ones for anybody to kind of pick up. It's basically just chanting UNO, UNO, UNO. Again, pretty simple. From there, we get into its longer variant, which is basically designated as the long version of UNO. It's relatively the same. The big difference is that it'll start out with kind of a more drawn out UNO, which will basically just go with UNO, which people around then respond to with the shorter version of UNO. Now, typically, again, that's only done about 4 different times. Now, getting into a little bit more complicated stuff, if it does have kind of a specific cadence going with it, that we have something like Go Mavs. Now, again, that does typically have a little bit of a cadence for it. I'll, again, try and clap it out here for you. Go Mavs! Which, again, that's pretty much done only about 4 different times. Now, there have been times in the past where students with like the stadium horns, or you might call them vuvuzelas, have done that cadence with that vuvuzela horn. Or now, again, I apologize there, but Red Army's kind of had their fun with that, where in kind they will respond with a horn for that general cadence, and then replace Go Mavs with noise. Now, moving on, this is one that's kind of become a student favorite. We're the UNO Mavericks. Now, this cheer is set specifically to the chorus of "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister. If you need to kind of get an idea of how that goes, again, try and look it up. Spotify, YouTube. You can find it pretty easily, or just try turning it into one of your classic rock stations, like specifically for Omaha, maybe CD 1059, 1019 The Keg, who, as they say, they'll pretty much play anything, or just a general rock station like a Z92 or something like that. And if you kind of want to get the idea for the chorus, this has kind of been one of the more recognizable ones for students. And again, it just kind of follows that chorus of "We're Not Gonna Take It." So I'll kind of give you a little bit of an example of how that goes here. But basically the cheer goes, "We're the UNO Mavericks. We are the UNO Mavericks. We're the UNO Mavericks. Who are you?" Now, one that we will kind of do here that is kind of a big time situational and cheer here is any time that we feel it's just a little bit too quiet, maybe we have no idea what to do, maybe we just want to be a little bit funny with things, but if it's feeling a little too quiet, things seem like they're dead in the arena or in the or in the stadium, we do have something specifically for that, which is basically we'll Basically, somebody will just kind of shout out, "Dead air, dead air." Basically, just kind of a way to try and get anything going, anything started. It's a pretty easy and call and response cheer if you hear that going. And we'll also basically do the same thing with another cheer. This basically just trying to get some noise going, one that we've appropriately dubbed "Noise for Noise Sake." And again, this just trying to get any kind of noise, any kind of energy that we can, and going for our student athletes. Now, moving on to some of the more hockey-centric stuff. If we do have a cheer for any time that, say, one of our opponents falls down. Now, this is pretty much known as fall down funny. And now, a couple of examples for some of our conference opponents. Let's say, for the heck of it, we're playing Colorado College, and one of their skaters falls down. Now, again, just to clarify, this is a player falling down under their own power. They're not being tripped. They're not being hooked. They're not being bumped or hit. It is basically, let's say they catch an edge or they trip themselves up, and they're falling down under their own power. So, again, an example. Well, let's say we're playing Colorado College. They're the Tigers. They have a cat mascot. It would basically go something like, "Kitty fall down, funny." Now, say we're playing Denver. We do add on to that a little bit, where that now changes to "Donner fall down, funny," but we'll add some Oregon Trail references onto that. Typically, it's a combination of either "six oxen died," or "broken axle." Now, as a specific side note to this cheer, we do have one that typically specifically targets referees for when this does happen. Now, a little history behind that. Maverick Maniacs are good friends, of course, with the Red Army, and of course, within the Red Army's ranks, we have a gentleman that goes by the name of Sam. Sam also answers to the name of Secret Agent Mav. A little history behind that: he actually was a backup goaltender for UNO hockey. In kind of the early years. Now, some people make that connection with his little nickname of Secret Agent Mav, going, "Oh, wait a minute, that actually kind of sounds like the title of a song." Well, technically it is. Shares a similarity to a song called Secret Agent Man, and the way he came up with that is when he initially was a backup goaltender for UNO hockey. He kind of jokes that initially he was playing without a nameplate and just had his number on his sweater. So he kind of jokes they gave him a name. I'm getting that wrong here, I apologize. But they gave him a number and took away his name, which is basically kind of a lyric from the song Secret Agent Man. And they've given you a number and taken away your name. So, again, a little bit more background about this. He does actually ref some youth games throughout the year. And he has let us know that anytime an official falls down, he actually owes the rest of his crew a case of their favorite beer. So when an official falls down, we do kind of give him a little bit of a reminder of it, and that where now we change it up to "Zebra fall down, beer, zebra owes a beer, zebra owes a beer, zebra owes a beer." Now, again, we will kind of use zebra as a generalization towards the refs. unless we know their name. Then we'll call them out by name. Now, next up, kind of gets into maybe what is one of our more controversial cheers, ones that, and one that I've gotten a lot of questions about. We basically call this microwave the cat. Now, again, this has had a little bit of controversy about behind it. So allow me to explain some of the history behind it. So, the history of how this came about is a couple of years ago, some Red Army members were at a Lancer game, and they overheard a couple of Lancer fans remark that some of the visiting fans looked like the kind of people that would attempt to dry off a cat by putting it in the microwave. Now, again, we do not condone that anybody actually ever does that. It's just something that's funny. It's kind of a, wait a minute, what the heck did they say? Is just kind of what, again, to just generate cheers, maybe be a little funny, be a little out there. But again, that's kind of a little bit of the history behind it, and where it comes from. Now, as for the cheer itself, it will typically start out with the cadence of "Oi!" That's typically getting done about 4 different chimes before we'll jump into the main body of that cheer, which of course is as such: the cat, microwave the cat, meow, zap, pop, microwave the cat. Now, and again, this is just basically just something we kind of do to kind of be a little bit funny. Again, we do not condone ever actually doing that to any domesticated animal, dogs, cats, canaries, any kind of pet. We don't condone ever doing that to a live animal, ever. So again, if you ever think that that's what we mean, we don't mean that. Don't ever do it. Again, moving on away from that, we do have a little bit more jabs at the refs that we'll kind of do. Now, this one is also kind of a little bit of a favorite of ours, but this is a situational cheer in which anytime, in like let's say during hockey, the official gets in the way of one of our attempts to try to clear the puck out of our zone, and they get hit with that puck. Or they basically just kind of get in the way and stop that puck from getting out of our zone. So we'll basically yell at them, move, ref, get out the way, ref, get out the way. And typically we'll do that about twice. Now, one that we do kind of have in conjunction with RPA announcers is towards the end of periods, at the end of halves, our PA announcers will announce 1 minute remaining in the period, 1 minute remaining in the half, quarter, whatever happens to be the game that you might be at, where they are actually keeping time, like say basketball, soccer, and again hockey. So we will typically yell at them after they do announce that 1 minute remaining, and we will typically yell out, "Thank you," which typically they're kind of in on the joke, and they'll respond back with, "You're welcome." Pardon me there. Now, this next one here is one that we'll typically do start a second period for hockey. This is mainly because, as for students in the Red Army, we typically sit on what is considered the shoot twice end. So, first period and third period, our guys are coming right at us to try and score. Second period, they're going towards the others. the other end of the ice. So for this one, this is basically over there. So we'll basically just kind of do a chant of over there, shoot the puck, over there. Which, again, that's basically just kind of a reference to, guys, get down the ice, get some shots on that goal. Well, that's the opposite side of us, and try and put as many as you can in the back of that net. Now, pardon? This next one is basically kind of one of the things that we will do specifically for an opposing player here, and this is referred to as the Jack Johnson treatment. Now, a little bit of background behind this. Jack Johnson actually used to play for Michigan back when UNO was part of the original CCHA, and we would play Michigan every year. Now, Jack Johnson kind of, I guess you could say, endeared himself to us a little bit in that whenever we played him, he was more concerned with trying to hurt somebody than actually playing the game of hockey. And so, what we would do specifically for him is anytime that he would touch the puck, we would just relentlessly boo him. Now, this is kind of carried over in recent years to where anytime we feel a player is here on an opposing team is worthy of this, whether it seems like they have tried to purposely hurt one of our guys, or say this past hockey season we actually had a player for Augustana take a whack at the Fish when they were here, which again, that's big no. If you want to know why, check out YouTube and look for UNO Fishgate. You will see that one of the last times that a opposing player took a whack at the Fish, it ended up causing a bench clearing brawl. So again, we do not appreciate anybody trying to take a whack at the Fish. So anytime that happens, or we feel like somebody is just that big of a how to put this nicely, douchebag. Yeah, let's go with that, douchebag. We will give him the Jack Johnson treatment and basically just relentlessly boo them anytime that they touch the puck, or let's say it's soccer, basketball, or something like that. We will relentlessly boo them anytime they come into contact with the ball. Now then, this next one, some people might recognize. This is maybe one of their favorite classic games. This is one that we call Tetris. Now, if you're familiar with kind of the classic in-game music for Tetris, you're probably going to recognize this pretty easily. It easily is basically kind of that dun da da dun da da dun da da dun, and kind of that melody. Well, during hockey, band will typically help us out a little bit with that. They will actually play that melody from the game Tetris. We as fans can also do that at any time. I'm just kind of going da 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 on our own for the melody. Melody followed up at the end of each stanza, so with basically just yelling, "Hey!" Now, once we kind of get through those first two initial stanzas, we will actually kind of launch into our own original chorus for it, which is basically sung as follows: UNO, we adore you. Let's go, Mavericks, for you we sing. And again, we will do that twice, and again, During hockey, sometimes in basketball, if they've got enough of a pause, this band will help us out with that. Next up, we have something that we've kind of taken from the realm of international professional soccer. This one we call Mavericks of Omaha. This year, it's taken a little bit of a while to kind of get it up off the ground, kind of get it recognized. But again, we'll kind of walk you through that. So cheer basically is done. Omaha, Omaha. We are the Mavericks. We are the Mavericks. We are the Mavericks of Omaha. Now, again, kind of moving back into the realm of hockey, and we can actually also do this for soccer as well. So, we have the chant of fresh fish. Now, again, this is kind of a nod to the fact that we do throw that fish during hockey for that first goal of the game. So, again, kind of to set this up for you, let's say our opponent for the day or evening decides to pull their starting goaltender and put in their backup. When we notice this, we will typically start a chant of fresh fish, fresh fish, or we can change that up as well with a chant of second-rate sieve, second-rate sieve. Now again, that can be done at any time that we do notice that starting goaltender being pulled and their backup being put in to replace them. Now, pardon me. And then another one, kind of maybe a little bit more easily recognizable, especially for fans of Sporting Kansas City, because the way I hear they tend to like this one. So most people are probably familiar with the I Believe chant, which is a call and response cheer. If you're not, again, I'll try and set it up here. Up here, again, this is a basic call and response where the person attempting to lead it will yell out, I believe that, I believe that we. From that, and then from that point, everybody just kind of joins in all at once. It's with, I believe that we will win, I believe that we will win, I believe that we will win, I believe that we will win. Now, we can kind of change this up a little bit towards the end of games, especially if it looks like we are going to win, and where we can change it. I believe that we will win now to I believe that we just won, I believe that we just won, I believe that we just won. Again, moving on, we do have another thing for opposing goaltenders. Now, this one is a time-specific one, and this is basically used anytime that an opposing goaltender kind of makes a scrambling save, or just appears to kind of luck out and just barely make a save that maybe they probably had no business making in the first place. In this place, we basically just call this lucky sieve, lucky sieve, lucky sieve, and we can basically do that at about 4 different times. Now, moving back to kind of something that we will do with refs. This can kind of be done a lot of the time during soccer season, because unfortunately, the refs that we have for the Summit League for soccer are typically, well, to put it simply, not that good. But so this one is basically just kind of a sung cheer here called "If You Know the Ref Is Wrong." Now, some may recognize the melody for this. Is we basically do it to the tune of "If You're Happy and You Know It," and we can basically do this in response as to kind of chastising the refs a little bit for making a call that we know is obviously the wrong call to be made. And so essentially this goes, if the ref is wrong and you know it, clap your hands. If the ref is wrong and you know it, clap your hands. If the ref is wrong and you know it and you really want to show it. If the ref is wrong and you know it, clap your hands. If the ref is wrong and you know it, shout bad ref, bad ref. If the ref is wrong and you know it, shout bad ref, bad ref. If the ref is wrong and you know it and you really want to show it. If the ref is wrong and you know it, shout bad ref, bad ref. Now, another one that we kind of have that comes to us kind of from the Red Army, and this is thanks to some members of the Red Army overhearing now former UNO hockey coach Dean Blaze referring to the idea that St. Cloud State, which is in our conference for hockey, that they kind of get away with cheating a little bit at home. Well, St. Cloud is one of the only universities remaining in North American college hockey that still uses the Olympic-size rink. Now, for those of you who may not know, the Olympic-size rink is actually a little bit wider than your standard NHL rink. Now, I want to say I am not entirely sure off the top of my head, but I want to say it's maybe about 15 feet wider than a standard NHL rink. I want to say your standard NHL rink is about 200 by 100, an Olympic-size rink. I think maybe about 200 by 115, 120. Again, I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. Don't quote me there. I just know that the Olympic rink is just a little bit bigger and a little bit wider here than your NHL standard. So this can be done anytime that we are playing St. Cloud State at home, and it's basically getting done to the tune of Camptown Races. So this one basically is done as Fat Rink Cheaters Got No Zoo, doo-da, doo-da. Built their rink in 1902, oh doo-da day. Now, the zoo crack does actually refer to the fact that the area of St. Cloud does not actually have a zoo, where, of course, we do. Some people in the St. Cloud area actually consider zoos like animal prisons. Of course, here in Omaha with the Henry Dorley Zoo, we have one of the world's top breeding programs for getting numbers up for endangered and at-risk wildlife. And of course, as any Omaha native does know, our zoo is actually one of the best in the world, year in and year out. And yes, I did say world, not just North America. Now, moving on to one of our next ones. Some may not immediately know this. Some might. But you've probably heard this before if you've ever gone to a sporting event, and it is the Hey song. So now, just to kind of refresh your memory for anyone who has heard this before, or is basically kind of if you've heard it before, you would recognize the da 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 da. Now, if you haven't, or you don't recognize that, again, you can find that on YouTube. Basically, just kind of punch up "Hey Song" into the search bar. It'll bring that up for you. But as the song kind of goes on, it'll get into a little bit of a chorus area where the song will basically just kind of go da 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 da. In that instance, since when there is that kind of little pause, most people will kind of go, "Hey!" Now, for us, we can basically just use that pause to get, "Oh, hey, go Mavs!" And there are 3 such pauses in that little chorus there. Once it kind of gets through those 3 pauses, we can then follow it up with, "Maverick's gonna beat a win out of you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you." Now, for our next one, this is one that Maverick Maniacs actually kind of stole from one of our former conference opponents in the Summit League, Western Illinois. We actually kind of appropriated, I guess you could say, this one after men's basketball swept them for the season. And we kind of learned this one from them after a student involvement trip out there. Which the guys that he's out there, I want to personally give this a little bit of a shout out to Western Illinois. They were great hosts, band members that they had for the year. Those guys were awesome. Summit was great, going back and forth with them during the games. We had a great time out there. It's a little unfortunate that they have since left the conference. Since they're good people, good friends of ours. And of course, we wish them well. And I believe they're in the horizon now. But again, we do wish them well in their conference and in their future endeavors. So again, getting back to into the meat of this cheer. So anytime, let's say, a player misses a opportunity at the charity stripe for basketball, or they miss a penalty shot. The chant is basically just yelling at them, "You let the whole team down." Now, for basketball, let's say the opponent is taking 2 shots. They miss the first one, while you get the, you let the whole team down. If they go 2 for 2 on the misses and miss both shots, they can kind of yell at them again with "You let the whole team down again." Now, moving on in here with kind of another situation in cheer that again kind of is more done for second period during hockey games. Again, when the team is going away from our students, away from the Red Army. You can also do this with soccer as well. Where typically, with the way things are set up there, you have us attacking the side of the pitch that's kind of away from our student section. But this is basically just called puck go that way. It's fairly simple. So for hockey, it's basically puck go that way, go in that net, light turn on, goalie feels shame. Now you can alter this a little bit at first and second period for first and third period for hockey by changing that net to this net, and go that way with come this way. And then for soccer, since there is no goal light, you can basically interchange light turn on with fight song play. Now, kind of getting a little bit more into some of the pop culture things that we'll do. This has become a recent student favorite. So I'm sure most people know the Nickelodeon cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, this year is basically just taking a little bit of a line from one of the episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. It's basically, we call this "What Are They Selling?" I mean, which anybody who's seen this particular episode of SpongeBob probably knows what this is. So typically we will have someone yell out, "Hey Mavericks, what are they selling?" Where now everybody around them will basically just kind of respond, and with again a line from that specific episode of SpongeBob where they will just kind of yell out, "Chocolate!" Again, if you haven't seen it in this particular episode of SpongeBob, well, I guess at this point, and you're probably living under a rock like Patrick. But if you need a little bit more reference for that, again, you can probably find it on YouTube. If you carry a streaming service that does have the SpongeBob SquarePants episodes, you could probably find this episode probably fairly easy. Another student favorite, kind of rooted in pop culture. Everyone probably at some point knows this song. But at the beginning of second half for soccer and basketball, students will actually sing the chorus to John Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer," which again, most people probably know this. If you don't, well, here it is. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Again, and if you don't know that by now, you're probably either too young or you are probably not all that up on your pop culture references. Now, another one that we kind of have, again, from the realm of pop culture, this one we specifically put in here for the kids. As for why we did that, we want to get that next generation of Maverick fan involved. We want to get them having fun. We want to get them to that point where, they enjoy being out at the games, they enjoy getting involved, and they want to continue to come out, keep coming back, keep getting loud, and keep having that fun at our games. So, again, if you probably don't know this, again, you have probably been living under a rock like a certain pink starfish. So, with that reference, you probably know what I'm getting at here. So, I'm basically just going to go ahead and do this here for you. Now, again, this is basically for the kids. It's basically just kind of a way for them to have fun, kind of get involved. But without further ado, basically, here it is. Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. Aye, aye, Captain. Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Absorbent and yellow and porous as sea. SpongeBob SquarePants. If nautical nonsense is something you wish, SpongeBob SquarePants, then drop on the deck and float like a fish. SpongeBob SquarePants. Ready? SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. And again, if you don't know where that's from, you live under a rock like a certain pink starfish. Just saying. Now, kind of getting back to some of the jabs that we'll do at officials. officials. I don't know if you could truly call this a jab at them, but this is basically just called "We're Here to Help." So this is a situational cheer where, let's say we do have that penalty or that foul called by an official, where we do actually agree with that call. Oh, we know it's the right call. We agree with it. Especially when the person or player getting that call made against them has seemingly been getting away with things throughout the majority of the game. And we've kind of been letting our displeasure be known. So this is basically just done as chanting at the ref. If we're here to help, we're here to help. Getting back into some of them, some student graded cheers. Here's we have GOMAVS. So this is again a recent student addition to kind of our cheer book and our guidebook. Now this will kind of start out a little bit slow, and as it goes on, we will kind of pick up speed with it. So again, quick example here for you: GOMAVS, go Mavs, go! 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 And I'll basically just kind of pick up steam like that until it's kind of getting okay. This is getting a little too fast. Let's cut it off at this point. Maybe try something and maybe get into something else. Now, this is kind of another cheer that we do have that kind of references a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of that 80s rock music in conjunction with not only Twisted Sister but John Bon Jovi. So this specific one is set to the introduction to the song "Rock You" by the band Helix. So again, just to kind of set this up, this is kind of a call and response cheer. Here, we basically refer to this one as MAVS. So again, allow me to give you a quick example here. Give me an MAAVVSS. What you got? Mavs! And what we gonna do? Beat you! Now, final one we'll do for now. For this week, for kind of our section on noise for noise sake, for kind of our general cheers. Here's before I let you go for the week here. This is kind of an on the fly chant. Again, a more recent addition to our arsenal of noise. There's a little bit of history kind of behind this. So this came about during a soccer game when the head official was kind of overheard telling, I believe our coach at the time was Bob Warming, after a player went down with an apparent injury, that he had a free sub, or basically a free substitution. Now this is kind of an on the fly chant. We're kind of able to pick up on that and hear that. Now, I will tell you, this is kind of an original line that I just came up with off the cuff, on the fly. Right, now, I will tell you, most people found it funny. I caught kind of Bob laughing at this when he first heard it. I caught the officials laughing at it when they first heard it. Some of the players were laughing at it when they first heard it. It's basically just kind of there to be funny. So again, let's just kind of get right into it. So again, if you hear that where the ref is telling our coach that he's got a free sub, the chant is basically just yelling out, Ref says we're getting free subs. Subs. The ref's buying lunch or ref's buying dinner, depending on the time of the game. Now, that can also be extended with another chant that and you can kind of follow it up with again, this kind of references the sub sandwiches, but you can basically follow it up with, we want footlongs. We want footlongs. And again, and that's basically just something that I came up with, kind of off the cuff, off the fly. Again, when I initially did it, most people found it funny. I mean, including the officials and players, here's and the coaches. So there you go. But anyway, Maverick Nation, that it will be all for this week. Again, this is basically kind of the meat of our cheer guide for some of the various cheers and jeers that we'll do throughout the game. Now, next week we'll kind of get into some of our power play and penalty kill cheers for hockey. We'll get into a little bit of that here next week. This week, again, just to kind of remind you, season's coming up for the start of our athletic seasons. We got that exhibition game August 10th with St. Louis, and then officially things kick off August 15th with women's soccer taking on SIU Edwardsville. Phil, hope to see you out there, and we hope to see you back here next week for a little bit more of our written cheer guide and learning how to be one of the loudest and best fan bases and student sections across the Summit League and NCHC. Until next time. So, again, until next time, Maverick Nation, go Mavs!